Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach Paul Tortorella Show as we talk IUP Crimson Hawks football. This is Jack Benedict, and we're glad to be with you as we talk about another IUP game and another IUP win, 57-14 over Seton Hill at Offutt Field in Greensburg. And Coach, talk about this game a little bit. You got behind real early in the game, and it shows the kind of team you have. It was early. You fought back a couple of times. You were down 14-9, and all of a sudden things mushroomed and you score 48 in a row. But tell us about your thoughts at the beginning of the game and then how things went.
Well, I've said this before, when you're playing that kind of offense, it's a spread and they go fast. It takes a while to get adjusted on defense. So, early in games against the spread teams, you can't get out of whack if they, get some yardage. We stopped them on the first drive on fourth down, but then we turned the ball over. And then we had a sudden change, and we actually should have stopped the run on third down and forced a field goal there. But, I think our defense realizes that if they don't give up the big play and create some turnovers, that offensively we're going to score a lot of points. And, playing that type of complementary football eventually will wear teams out. And that's really what we did in the second and third quarter on Saturday.
You had to get a big lift, too, whenever the snap and punt formation went out of the end zone for a safety, and I'm sure, you're behind 7-0, all of a sudden, perks you up a little bit, doesn't it?
Well, the crazy thing about that is we had the block on, and they never blocked Max Redfield. He would have definitely blocked it. I mean, I don't even know if they would have got the punt off. So, in reality, we blocked one a couple years ago down there out of the end zone, so maybe that would have happened, but we at least had a chance to block it, maybe score a touchdown. But we had the block on, and they never blocked him, and he was totally clean. But the ball went over the punter's head, and obviously we got the 2 points. Then we got good field position after the punt from the 20, after the safety, and took it in and then took the lead.
Mm-hmm. I don't know if people realize how good this defense the last couple of years has been with block kicks, all interceptions. Things have really turned the game around. Boy, that's just a big plus for you.
Our players are really, they really buy into the special teams. Our punt block and our field goal extra point block team, there's a lot of defensive players on there. So they take a lot of pride in it. And really all of our special teams. We actually have some offensive players now really contributing. Zach Kelly, Don McNeil. We've got some offensive players now in the mix also. So, Allen with the returns. And so we talk about, it's three phases: offense, defense, special teams. And, that could have been a, early turning point, 7-0. We end up going up 9-7, really after the botched snap. So that was a big play to start the game.
You have Chris Wiesner back, too. He's a lot of experience in special teams.
Yes, he's a good special teams player also.
Yeah, very good. Well, what can we say about Samira Bullock? I mean, you talk about a workhorse. Terrific game, 263 yards, 31 carries, 6 touchdowns. Not only ties the school record, but the PSAC record with a guy named John Kuhn, who's been in the NFL for quite a while. He was, I don't know if he ever got tired, did he?
I told Coach Barker at the end of the first half, let's just keep riding him. And he said, well, he's got close to 20 carries. I said, well, let's get him through the first half and maybe start the second half off with him. And get a comfortable lead because he was running the ball so well. The thing that was interesting is the first game against Ashland, he carried it 26 times. The last 3 weeks combined, he only had a little over 30 carries total. Just by how the game went, he was banged up a little. We didn't start him. The Edinburgh game, he came in the second quarter. And, a lot of those plays, they wear those getting hit a lot is not great for you, as the season goes on. So. The heavy load he had against Ashland was what we needed. The last 3 weeks, he only averaged 10 carries a game. So he was able to go run it 20 times in the first half. I think he had over 30 carries for the game.
Yeah.
And then midway through the third quarter, we went to our other running back. So it worked out perfect for us.
Mm-hmm. This came to mind the other day, and I just brought it to your attention before we went on, that Coach Kurt Signetti said, when you had all those running backs, he had a bevy of running backs. If we don't get this guy, somebody's going to get him. And he could end up in the PSAC playing against us. You never know who you're going to get and how you're going to get them, do you?
No, you really got to turn every stone over. I mean, he was from the inner city of Philadelphia. You know, there's a lot of great athletes in the inner city of Philly. The football's not great football, but there's a lot of great athletes in that city league. And we were fortunate to get a call from a former assistant coach, or actually he was the former head coach at Delaware. They were recruiting him and had told us that they filled up on scholarships and they wouldn't be able to take them, and that we should take a look at him. So I looked at him first and thought it was, you know, he's really good, and then Mike Campolo kind of took it over from there. And obviously when Mike saw what type of running back he was, Mike was charged up, you know, wanting to block for him. And Mike's always been really high on Samir. I mean, he has really thinks Samir is as good as anybody we've had. You know, and Mike's been here just about as long as I have been here. So he's been great for us. He's a great kid. Has done a great job, you know, blocking, protection. I saw a play in the second quarter. We threw a pass, and I saw a DN go, you know, flying through the air, and Samir cut him on pass protection. So not only is he running the ball for us, he's helping us in pass protection, and he's a good teammate.
The thing I like, too, is he gave a lot of credit to Coach Barker, to, as he called him, Christopher Temple. That shows respect. But the offensive line, wow, they did a terrific job for you.
Well, we love our offensive line, and they are really coached up with Campy. They're very physical, very aggressive. We feel like we can run the ball on anybody. A big part of Saturday, and even any days in a rush game, where our tight ends are doing a great job blocking also. Rex Pierce, Bertram, C.J. Jackson, they did a tremendous. There was 2 or 3 blocks that kind of stood out from the sideline during the game, and it was the tight ends on their end man on the line of scrimmage. We were running a power play, and they were just taking care of that whole side, and you know, we were running on air for a couple of those runs. And then the wideouts downfield were doing a great job blocking, and I thought they were doing a really good job. And then I asked Coach Brian this morning what he thought, and he said we did a great job blocking downfield on not only the runs, but those little bubbles and quick screens that we throw. Those are our main blockers, or the other wideouts. So not only our offensive line, but our tight ends and our receivers have done a great job. You know, did a great job Saturday, and then also the threat of Lenny keeping and running it kind of makes that defense a little bit softer, so that helps.
Yeah, exactly. I know their coach Collins said we have to be, well, everybody has to be aware of where he's going. Third down conversion, 6 of 9. Red zone score, 7 of 7. That's important stuff.
Well, last week we talked about, you know, we needed to improve. We weren't good enough on third down against Edinburgh, converting third downs. And we had looked through our first 4 games, and I think we were 8 for 18 in the red zone scoring touchdowns. So we made a big point going into this game. The 2 of the major points on offense, you know, was the third down conversions, which we were 66% Saturday. And then red zone scoring touchdowns, we were, I believe, 7 for 7 in the red zone scoring touchdowns. So, you know, we were 8 for 18 going into the game, so that was huge right there.
You know, you had talked, Tort, about in the beginning of the game, you're kind of scuffling a little bit on defense. When you get on offense, you don't know where Seton Hill's coming from. They got 4 wides. They give you everything. So you have to, even the quarterback ran the football a couple of times. At what point, you kind of go in like a boxer, feeling your way, and then you make those defensive adjustments? You
know, Jack, that's really, you know, that's a great way to look at it. Coach Smith, the defensive staff, really were on top of whatever. We knew they were going to do a lot of those things that are a little bit unconventional. You know, they go 4-by-1 empty, and then they go 3-by-2 empty, and then they motion the 4 guys into the boundary. So we had all of our adjustments and checks, and it takes a while to kind of filter those in as the game's going on in the first quarter. But I thought our defensive staff did a great job in not panicking, kind of just staying with the plan, knowing that you know, we would work ourselves into the game and mainly be sound in all the kind of crazy, we call them junk formations that they give you. Yeah, exactly. Well, you did welcome back Chris Wiesner. We got a chance to see him play a little bit. You had him on offense too. What's the latest on Walt Pegues? I know it's been day to day, week to week, and it's got to be so frustrating for him. Well, it's frustrating for all of us, obviously. I almost hate to say it today because I said last Monday I think we're going to be in really good shape health-wise, and then Walt and Dwayne had a little setback during the week, and then Justin Weldon had a toe injury during the week, so we ended up not playing with those three, playing without those three. It looks good, for Saturday right now, with everybody potentially having the chance to come back, except for Joe Peterson, of course. So hopefully, that's the way it'll be come Saturday.
Okay. California's up next. Homecoming, Cold Bowl, the whole thing, and why not? This is the type of thing that these teams and these players play for. They came up a little bit short in overtime to Slippery Rock, two outstanding offensive team. What do you see in this Cal team? This is a second year for Coach Gary Dunn. He did a great job last year, and we know that they have talent. There's no question about that.
Oh, there's no doubt about that. They're well coached. They're very talented, skill-wise, offensively. The quarterback's great. Kier's a great quarterback. They have good backs. They bring back 3 of their 4 receivers from last year. Even though they lose Gary Brown, they've got Green, they got Smorey, they've got Dandridge. They've got 3 other really good receivers that have been playing for a long time. Their offensive line, they've got a really good center and a right tackle who are back that are all conference players. Then defensively, they get after the quarterback. They've got a great pass rush. They're probably got hit with graduation and lost more perimeter players on defense this past year. They were pretty senior-oriented back there. So they're playing some new players. They've got a couple guys back from the past, but they're filtering in some new players on the perimeter and the secondary. And it looks like they're kind of just trying to get adjusted to what their scheme is. But talent-wise, and then special teams, always solid special teams. Larry Wilson's their special teams coach, does a great job with their special teams. You always got to be aware of what they're going to do special teams-wise. So it's much like the Ashland game in that, like, if you're going to beat them, you literally have to beat them. They're not going to give it to you because they're very well coached.
And they have a Hall of Fame coach on the other side as a volunteer assistant, huh? Coach Rogish.
Yeah, Coach Rogish is over there for Cal coaching their D-line. So hopefully we can get after him a little bit.
Yeah, okay. It's always good that way. Well, it's an exciting I'm sure the veteran players like Lenny and the players that have been around for a few years, do they try to impart to the younger players, yeah, it's an important game, but really I think you guys have said it all along, it's the next game up.
Well, as a program, we've tried to put that in the minds of our players that the most important game's the next one. What has happened before and what's going to happen down the road really is of no consequence. We're taking the approach that we need to worry about IUP actually more than the team we're actually playing Saturday. Now, obviously, there's things that Cal does and things that we've got to work on scheme-wise and so forth. But the team that we're playing Saturday really has no effect on how we're going to play. So our main goal with our team is to treat every Saturday like it's just the next game, and it's all about what we do.
All right. Well, hey, good luck. I'm sure we're going to have a big crowd, and we hope for another great day. The weather's just been terrific, especially for practice. It's been great.
Weather's been great. Our crowds at home have been great, and I would be surprised if this Saturday it's not off the charts, attendance-wise. With it being homecoming, Cal, we're on a pretty good run here. I think the fans are really behind us and enjoy the way we're playing, and we enjoy having them at the games, believe me.
We do, I know. Hey, good luck, Coach.
Thanks, Jack.
Coach Paul Tortorella, that's our show for this week. 2 o'clock kickoff for homecoming Saturday against Cal U, and I think that's pretty much enough said. For the coach, this is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.